just walk in there. So this is Mr. T.
Great team.
I believe that there's going to be 3 said that they were going to try to be here this year. So hopefully I will have okay, so because thank you.
Take care.
He said, yes, I did. I tried one.
No, is that one?
Yes.
Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to call the board of the city council meeting. Roll call.
Councilmember Agency Director, Majority Member Molly. Dan. Underwood Jacobs. Vice Mayor Maestro Chris. Mayor Chairman Harris. We have a quorum.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Now it is. I'll make a motion to excuse Mayor Paris.
Second that?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Matt Dumas. Matt, come on up. You're going to do the invocation?
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for just this time, this beautiful day that you've given us, and the gift of life that you give us, the breath that we breathe. Lord, we thank you for the beauty of this valley, and Lord, that your heart for the folks that live here. I pray for these men and women that will be making decisions that impact the people that live here, that, Father, you give them great wisdom, Father, great desire to see the good of the people here. Lord, we pray for just a spiritual harvest here in the valley. We pray that folks would come to know you. Lord, that your kingdom would come here on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, I think of the words of Jeremiah as he talked about to some folks who were living in exile, that the city that you planted them in was the city that you had them to be in, and that they were to pray for the welfare of the city. So, Father, we pray for the welfare of Lancaster. We pray that for the good of the people here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Kim, will you do the pledge, please?
Everybody would face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ken's going to do the declaration of the MS Awareness Week. Ken, will you go down and do that for us? Yes. Yes.
Sounds like I'm going to break it. So it's actually my pleasure. Some of us may not be aware, but March 7th through the 13th is actually MS Awareness Week. And on behalf of the city of Lancaster, we would like to take time and announce this to everyone. And we realize that it's a terrible disease, and our hearts go out to the people that are stricken with MS. And on behalf of the city of Lancaster, I'm proud to say, please take time to recognize this disease, and hopefully we find a cure so that all is taken care of. So, thank you.
Patty, you're going to do a presentation on the school district. Angela, will you help with that?
The city of Lancaster has made
The City of Lancaster has made partnering for a greener tomorrow a priority in the community. We forged partnerships with like-minded organizations throughout the city to achieve our sustainability goals. One example of successful partnership that we forged is with the Lancaster School District. The Lancaster School District was our inaugural partner through the Solar Lancaster program. In that initial capacity, we installed solar at both the Lancaster School District sites and also the Eastside School District. In total, we added solar at 25 of their facilities and achieved 7.5 megawatts installed. This created 250 local jobs and also allowed for the installation of 30,000 solar panels. In the first year of the program, the school district saved $410,000, and it's estimated that over the 25-year program duration, they'll save an estimated $8 million, which is pretty amazing. Furthering their sustainability goals, the Lancaster School District was one of Lancaster Choice Energy's early enrollees In just 5 months, they were able to save $41,000, and Lancaster Choice Energy helped them do that by aggregating their energy. And so for those facilities that overproduced, we were able to offset for facilities that underproduced energy, and in total saved the school district over $41,000. In recognition of our partnership with the school district, we'd like to thank them for their support of our net zero goals and for their support of our sustainability goals. And we have our commendation, which we'll present to Dr. Bowers.
Gosh, it's fantastic seeing you. Absolutely. So, on behalf of the City of Lancaster and the Mayor, along with the City Council, thank you so very much for assisting with us by becoming greener, right along as a partner. It's greatly appreciated.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Absolutely. We do. We have one board member here, Mr. Greg Teepee, and I also have my Assistant Superintendent of Business, Leona Smith. So I'd like to ask them to join me over here.
And we'd like to invite Dr. Bowers to say a few words
Oh,
on
thank you.
behalf of the school district.
Great. I will be brief, but I do appreciate the opportunity to thank the city for allowing us to be one of the early partners in the Going Green initiative. We, as a solar partner many moons ago, several years ago, and watching all the solar panels go up around the district, it was a big transition for us. And realizing that savings and the benefits takes time because it's a big project. But this LCE, Lancaster Choice Energy Project, has been easy in comparison to that. And I want to thank all of the people that have worked with us very closely. I will admit I had my reservations. Going in, they gave me a call. We want to talk to you about this new initiative. No. I'm still adjusting to solar. But making that transition, they were very patient. They were well organized. I appreciated the information, and I appreciated the specificity to meeting the needs and the concerns, addressing the concerns of Lancaster School District and of the Lancaster community. And by engaging in that conversation, I was convinced that this was the right thing to do for Lancaster School District and have not looked back since. So in about a month ago, we had an opportunity to have a review. Where are we now? Since the program has started, and in only a 5-month period of time, we are realizing or have realized over $41,000 in savings, which you reflected in the PowerPoint there. And those are real numbers. That's real money, real dollars that we can use to help our students and our community. So it's very much appreciated, and it very much does benefit Lancaster School District and our community. So on behalf of the district, thank you for choosing us to be one of the early adopters and be part of this initiative, and it truly has paid off. And we look forward to doubling those numbers in the next 5 to 7 months. So I look forward to the review at the end of the year. So that will be nice. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Bowers. Mr. Bozigan, anything to be removed?
No, sir.
I need a motion and a second for the minutes.
I'll make a motion. Let the record show that I was not present, but I did read the minutes.
I'll make the second.
We have a motion and a second for the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Consent calendar. We'll do it this way. Mr. Reeves?
Vice Mayor Chris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen, there's
Michael, can you hold on a minute? Can you restart his time just a second? Angela needs to recuse herself about in regards to
CC2.
CC2. So, no, Michael, you can speak. She needs to leave the room.
three items on the consent calendar I'd like to speak about tonight. The first one is CC2, and I noticed that we had what I consider excessive legal bills. And again, I would like the council and city government to have our own city manager, city attorney, to cut down on some of these legal bills. CC3 is about the PACE program. David Paul asked me if this would include AV Hospital in the retrofitting, and the deputy city manager attends finance committees of AV Hospital, so does I. And I frequently bring it up about retrofitting and earthquake prevention. And I'm just wondering if this will apply to if AV Hospital can get under this plan, because currently they don't have enough funds to retrofit the hospital. And also on that same concern, my concern personally on PACE was you're going to bill the property owners on their property bills, and I was wondering if someone got foreclosed on, how would they handle that type of situation? It wasn't clear to me in the supporting documents how we were going to handle a foreclosure for someone who had their property foreclosed on. I know that the PACE program property taxes would go to the next owner, but I'm not sure what will happen if there's a foreclosure. And the CC4 is the joint tax transfer resolution with Quartz Hill Water District. I couldn't find anything in the attachments or any documents who the party was that wanted to be transferred over. I'd like to know who the person was so there wouldn't be any possible conflict of interest with the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. I need a motion and a second to approve CC2.
Do you want to take that act?
No, I want to do CC2.
Okay. I'll move that we accept CC2.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Motion passes 3-1 with Angela abstaining. Not abstaining, but recusing. So will you get Angela back here? Sure. Maria?
Before we go on, Councilmember Underwood, you do need to state the basis of your recusal on the record.
There is a refund due back to the campaign for the rental of Zeldas.
Okay, thank you.
Before my time starts,
No, your time starts now.
okay, I just want to ask you a question. Can I speak on each one of these?
You can speak on each one, but you have 3 minutes total.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking. There's a lot that I wanted to speak on each one, and
You have 3 minutes to speak on the consent calendar. If you want to speak on all of them, you can do that in your 3 minutes.
well, that's
only
kind of
3
hard
minutes.
to do in 3 minutes for each one. I mean, if I had 3 minutes for each one, that would be great. I could do it all at once. That would be fine. But I need a little more time than 3 minutes. I mean, that's a lot. There's like four. Okay, I really don't think that's right. For far too long, there's been these problems with what's been going on with property and it's not just property, what's been going on in our schools, what's been going on in our energy, that I guess you can call it, with our hospitals, with everything. So the PACE, the CC3, that it says it allows property owners to enter into voluntary contractual assessments. First of all, I want to know who these property owners are, because the PACE program is mainly a program for medical, I noticed, and it never tells where these properties are, or they change them continuously, and they change not only the programs, but the properties where they're on. And for far too long, like I said, I think people have been being taken for their money and being used on other programs and stuff that have not been beneficial to us. You can laugh all you want, but I don't think any of this is funny at all, okay? Where it says these are voluntary contractual assessments, these assessments have not been voluntary as far as I'm concerned. They're done through coercion and among other things. It was not voluntary, and I had to put in an application to get my credentials back because in 2008 they changed all the program. I don't think it's voluntary for the bonds that were put in for certain businesses either, that they coerced people into accepting, so that when the businesses went bad, that we were the ones that had to pay for it. As far as my credentials go, how they lower your score to intentionally make you look like you're not as worthy so they can put in other people or whatever. Many of the veteran teachers lost their jobs and stuff too at this time because they wanted other people in there so that they could, all these programs and stuff could pay for, oh boy, this is bad, could pay for the programs, the equipment and technology that were used. And what was being done was hurting people and children, and it still is, because they're using them. Also, the audit of 2006, which was supposed to be for the school district, was not on the school district at all. It was on people, and the people that were individual taxes, which I know, because I was like completely paid for. Us as teachers had to pay for what was going on at the schools, or what wasn't going on, what they weren't paying for in the programs that the money was supposed to be for.
Thank you.
Also, wait, if I could please, because there's a lot more.
Maria, you have a card in for everything that we're
I have
doing
several
tonight.
cards in.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Really?
I need a motion and a second to accept the consent calendar as currently comprised.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the consent calendar to include CC1, CC3, and CC4.
I'll second.
Let's vote. Motion passes unanimously. PH1, we're going to open the public hearing. Who's doing this?
Patty will do this.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council. Staff recommends the adoption of Resolution Number 16-11, amending Resolution 15-70, which will establish customer power generation rates for Lancaster Choice Energy. Approval of this resolution will ratify the adjustments made to the market demand credit from 11 to 13%, allowing our customers to enjoy a greater savings, and also keeping LC competitive with Southern California Edison. This credit will be provided for energy usage dating back to February of 2016. This resolution would also ratify staff's recommendation of providing a discounted Smart Choice rate of $5 for our CARE domestic customers.
Thank you. Any questions?
Actually, I have a question, Mara. If I was opt up to Smart Choice for example, my restaurant, how much that would cost per month to be 100% green?
It depends. So for most of our commercial customers, most of our small commercial customers fall under what's called GS1A, and on a typical month, they'll use about 860 kilowatt hours, let's say. The business rate is 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour, so that would basically be about $12.90 a month to opt up to Smart Choice, to be 100% renewable, to use 100% renewable energy.
Good, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing. Marie? Yes.
The public hearing needs to be open during public comment.
Yes.
So if you can reopen, please.
We'll reopen it,
Thank you.
just for Maria.
Thanks. Let's see, where am I at now? Oh, boy, let's see. Three things that it says that these are for commercial property, residential property, and municipal property, right? The PACE property. Okay. Well, I thought that the residential property was the HERO program. As far as the commercial and municipal property, I want to know if anybody's done any kind of investigation, although I've asked, for some of these programs and some of these businesses or whatever, where it has cost us, and hospitals, nuclear projects, mining projects, and all that, where it has cost us, because we have had to pay for now the sewer, the water, the trash, and all that, which I'm sure is paying for a lot of these problems that we've had with these. But it's still coming out of our money. Nuclear projects. In 2008, the projects were, let's see, wait a second. I'm sorry, you guys. Hold on. For all these things that aren't good at all, the lighting, the control systems, fuel cells, and all these other services, there's also the assessments on the property taxes. Muni Services was also a service that came about that caused a lot of problems, that was saying that if we didn't pay certain taxes or whatever, that we were going to lose our business licenses or even our driving privileges, driving licenses, and things like that. That needs to be looked into, because I know a whole lot of people got those, and they had to go to court on those, and a lot of people at that time had lost their homes.
Maria, stay on track. We're talking
I'm
about
trying to.
Lancaster
There's
Choice
so
Energy.
much that it's like I'm really trying to, okay? Also, the government, the medical aspect of it, the Medicaid.gov, it's a federally governed managed website that you go on now, and some of it says from Baltimore, Maryland, which was where some of those, we all saw that happened on TV, from nonprofit, multiple family, and commercial industrial agencies that were all, had gotten in trouble too for illegally having the Medi-Cal and Medicaid funding and crap. Oops, can I say that? Money that they were getting reimbursed or whatever that they were charging people for. That's something that needs to be looked into because of what happened in, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to close the public hearing now.
Deeds of trust I wanted to talk about too, but I guess I'm not going to be able to.
Thank you. Okay, I need a motion.
I'd like to move that we adopt resolution number 16-11.
Second that.
Let's vote. Motion passes unanimously. NB1. Patty, you're back up.
Operation. Great. Good evening, Vice Mayor and Council. I'm delighted to be here this evening to launch Lancaster Choice Energy's Smart Choice campaign. As you know, Lancaster Choice Energy has been fully operational since last May. We are We were the first community choice aggregator city in the state of California and the first under Southern California Edison territory. With our partner Southern California Edison, we successfully launched and we're now serving over 55,000 customers citywide. In just a short few months, we've saved our customers tens of thousands of dollars, like the Lancaster School District, which we presented to earlier, and we've also given our residents a voice in their energy decisions. Our council has really created the vision. You've actually led the way for many communities who now look to us as a model for what they aspire to be. Lancaster Choice Energy is unique. Through Lancaster Choice Energy, we're able to develop programs and projects that really meet the needs and goals of our community. That's something that's unique and something you wouldn't find with your traditional investor-owned utility. Right off the bat, Lancaster Choice Energy offers our Clear Choice product. That's your basic energy product. It's 35% renewable energy. The equivalent product that you'd get through Southern California Edison is 12% lower than that. So already you're doing something better for the environment. Our personal choice program for our solar customers provides twice the incentive for those customers who overproduce energy, which again encourages people to use solar and to do something good for the environment. These initiatives help to maximize or encourages our residents to maximize their use of alternative energy and also supports the council's goals of becoming a net zero community. The most exciting of our options that we're currently offering is Smart Choice. So what is Smart Choice and why is it important? Smart Choice is Lancaster Choice Energy's 100% renewable energy product. And why it's important is because we're really making history here. This is the first time that a Southern California Edison customer is able to purchase a 100% renewable energy product. That's pretty amazing, and it's only available here in Lancaster. So we really are, like I said, we're making history here. This product is available at a very nominal price to our customers. We've heard through our customer interactions that people want to make a difference. They want to do something good for the environment, but maybe the common way that people do it through solar, adding solar to their homes, is not the most attractive option. So now they don't have to do that. They can opt up for $10 a month as a residential customer. They can also opt up as a business customer for $0.015 per kilowatt hour per month. And now with council approval, we will also offer a discounted rate for our care customers of $5 per month. So no matter what kind of customer you are, you have an opportunity to opt up to Smart Choice. Our logo in Lancaster Choice Energy is, giving people the power to choose, and we really are proud to be able to offer this to our customers, the power to choose 100% renewable energy. Lancaster Choice Energy will kick off its Smart Choice campaign in April. Our staff has created a comprehensive marketing and outreach plan which will guide our efforts. Our goal is to attain 3,000 new customers throughout the summer, and we're very excited to meet that goal. Our plan is to get out into the community and to talk about Smart Choice, what it is, why it's so important, and why we are, like I said, we're making history here in Lancaster. We're doing something that you're unable to do anywhere else in Southern California Edison territory. This next slide shows some of the different ways that we plan to interact with our customers. During our program launch, one of the most beneficial tools that we used was just one-on-one interaction with our customers, and so we plan to be at events such as the California Poppy Festival, Jethawks Games, other activities where we're able to talk to people and explain to them what Smart Choice is, and again, explain to them that it's a very affordable way for them to do something good for the community. We realize that our customers get their information in different ways. Some people like the traditional AV press or radio advertisement, and so we plan to do those traditional things. But we're also going to look at new ways to reach out to the public. So, using media outlets such as Facebook, Instagram, using paid advertisements through Pandora, and those different types of things. As you can see, Tim and Tom Fuller they have been Smart Choice champions since the launch of Lancaster Choice Energy. We're very excited to reach out to our business community specifically. Many of them have green goals, which they're actually able to attain a lot quicker if they opt up to Smart Choice, similar to residential customers who may not want to install solar in their homes. We give our business customers an opportunity to opt up to 100% energy without the need for a capital project on their facility. As you can see, the Lancaster Choice Energy team will be quite busy over the next couple of months. We're very excited to get the word out about Smart Choice and why it's so important and how they have this opportunity available to them. We hope to be here in the next couple months to share our progress with Council and also to celebrate Lancaster Choice Energy's one-year anniversary as a first city community choice aggregator. And for all those residents who I know are going to sign up and who are very excited to be a part of the Smart Choice campaign, we offer 3 different ways to do that. One, people can visit our website, which actually contains a lot of really good, useful information about Lancaster Choice Energy, Smart Choice, and all the different product offerings that we have. So it's www.lancasterchoiceenergy.com. People can also reach us via phone at 661-723-6084. And at Lancaster Choice Energy, we love to have visitors, and so we encourage our residents to come out and ask us those tough questions about Smart Choice and Lancaster Choice Energy. We're located at Lancaster City Hall on the 1st floor. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
No, I think this is a great, exciting, so I'm going to sign up for that, for sure.
Good.
I think this is really nice.
I got one. That's
Yeah, there you go.
fantastic. 2,999 more to go.
Yeah, no, that's a great, it's exciting.
Great, thank you.
From a value-based proposition, what are the top 2 things that I, as a customer or future customer, would want to know? What would be the top 2 off the top for you?
As a business customer or as a residential customer?
Residential customer.
So as a residential customer, you're obviously doing something that's good for the environment. You're a part of history, right? So we've never offered, there's nothing like this in Southern California, Edison territory. So you're literally a part of history. You're part of something that will become the future, and you can say that you were one of the first people to do it. And you're doing something good for the environment. I know you have children. I have children. I want to leave this community better, a better place for them. So,
Fantastic. Thank you.
sure.
Ken?
No, I just think this is a great time for the citizens of Lancaster. And then not only are we doing a good thing, but we're saving money. So I think when that's a double win. You know, usually when you're doing a good thing, sometimes it costs you things. You know, you're usually giving, but in this case, we're all benefiting from being a part of Lancaster Choice Energy. So thanks.
Patty, tell your team they did a great job. So thank you.
Thank you.
Maria?
The only thing I can think of to say right now is these programs, the Southern California Edison or whatever, the CARE program, you know, that was costing everybody a lot more money if you enrolled in that, and most people didn't even have the opportunity to say if they did or didn't, other than if you were low income, you know. You had to be able to, enroll in it, and they also installed all kinds of stuff into your house that was making us sick or making us, hurting us. It wasn't good. But that CARE program that came under the Edison company was actually ended up costing us more on our bills. I came in here and was saying that our energy costs were so much, our electric and gas bill, but that's because we had gas leaks and stuff going on in our area, that we couldn't even afford to pay our rent or pay anything because that was so high and so expensive. But I was just told the investors wouldn't like it, so nobody would even talk to us, even though, what's going on now, everybody's saying, oh, it's a big issue, we have all the gas leak up there. Well, that's been going on all over for a long time. And a lot of us were sick. And a lot of us were, having a lot of problems. But coming in and actually putting in fake people to come in to do assessments on your house and stuff and pretend like they're real estate people or to pretend like they're, to come in and just like take over your house and force you to sell.
Maria, stay on track. We're talking about the Choice Energy program.
Well, we don't have a choice sometimes in the energy. They just tell us what it is that they're going to install and what they're going to have here. You have to have this in your house, or you have to have, it would be great. It would be wonderful if we could choose the things that we wanted. That's the big part of life, is being able to choose and enjoy your life. But the things that have been being chose for us are killing us. And they haven't been a good thing at all. The programs, the equipment that they put, all those things. And, I keep coming here. I've been coming here for years, the past 3 years or whatever, too, even before that, and trying to talk on these issues that, I just get like, oh, it's okay, I want to hear it or whatever. And, we get a little bit of it on TV. Oh, wow, what about all the fires and stuff that, have been going on all up and down the coast? What about all those? I didn't even hear about any of that on TV, You don't hear about all the people that are being hurt, killed, not to mention kids that are really in a state right now of I'm really worried about. Because of trying to change things and get things back, there's a lot of kids that are really in harm's way right now. that I think is, something that somebody should really, because of course now I'm going to get emotional about that because I'm very concerned about it. Yeah, but it's funny to some people, because they've moved all their families in and,
Thank you, Maria. Okay,
stolen in the worst way.
I need a motion.
And just, so that motion, if I got it correct, would just be to receive the report,
Receive and file.
receive and file.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file. Let's vote. Motion passes unanimously. Brian, NB2?
Vice Mayor Christ and members of the City Council. This is a presentation to kind of give you just a basic background on the annexation process as it operates in Los Angeles County. This is given in response to a request several meetings ago from the Council asking for this update. So what I've done is prepared a brief PowerPoint to kind of give you an overview of how the annexation process would proceed. So we can't really talk about annexations without talking about LAFCO. That's the Local Agency Formation Commission. Those are established in every single county in the state and established originally in 1963. That legislation has been modified several times since then, but basically it's an independent governmental body, and it is responsible for determining what the service boundaries of service districts and incorporated cities should be within the County of Los Angeles. So it is a 9-member board that's appointed from several different sources. It looks at every kind of boundary request. In fact, you had one on your consent calendar tonight that involved annexation into the Quartz Hill Water District. That's an example of the kind of thing that a LAFCO would oversee. They also prepare municipal service reviews. That's to determine whether or not boundaries of cities line up well with the kinds of services that they're able to provide to a particular area. Ours was just reviewed within the last year or so. Again, LAFCO does that about every 6 to 7 years for cities within their jurisdiction. This is an example of kind of some of the important things that you have to deal with LAFCO on. First of all, this is obviously the incorporated limits of the city of Lancaster. All of those annexations were at some point reviewed through LAFCO and recommended for approval, ultimately approved. One other thing that they do that's very important is they establish for every city in the county what's known as a sphere of influence. And ours, in this particular case, you can see runs from Avenue, near the county line, actually. It's the county line northward, 110th Street west on the west, out to about 110th or 120th on the east, and then basically following a line that butts up against Palmdale's sphere of influence to the south. Why is the sphere of influence important? Because that's the area that LAFCO has determined that over time they expect the incorporated city to annex. Doesn't mean we're going to do it tomorrow, doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime in the near future, but any type of annexation request that a city looks at putting in front of a LAFCO does in fact have to be within a sphere of influence that's established, or that sphere of influence has to be amended in some way. The annexation process itself can be initiated either by the city or by a property owner or property owners. There are two basic types of annexations. One that's called an inhabited annexation. That's an area that contains 12 or more registered voters. Or if it's uninhabited, obviously less than that. There are different requirements for those two that we'll go over shortly. Any type of city-initiated annexation request does require a resolution of the City Council indicating their support of it. And very important, the California Environmental Quality Act does in fact apply to annexation requests. So depending on the type of annexation, the size, or what's involved in it, the city may be required to look at adopting a negative declaration, a mitigated negative declaration, or in some cases, perhaps an environmental impact report as part of any annexation process. Now, LAFCO, by state law, has certain things that it has to consider when it looks at annexation requests. Because one of its primary roles is to determine whether or not services can be provided into an area, it's going to look at whether there's a need for services in the area that's being requested for annexation and if the city is actually able to provide those. It certainly is concerned with making sure that growth as it occurs in the Los Angeles County area is orderly and efficient. By state law, because the state considers the subjects of housing, water, and transportation to be state-level concerns, LAFCOs have to consider the effect of any annexation request on those particular factors. Certainly, they look at whether what we're looking to do is consistent with the city's general plan or with the county's general plan. They look at whether there's a significant change that's proposed as a part of an annexation. And of course, they consider comments from affected agencies and members of the public, as well as property owners or residents within an annexation area. Now, there are two other things that are at the bottom of the list that are also important. They're islands and ducks. Ducks is obviously an acronym, and what islands are areas that are entirely surrounded or largely surrounded by an incorporated city. In our city, obviously, we have a number of these on the west side. LAFCO tends to look favorably on any kind of annexation request that makes those smaller or gets rid of an island. At the same time, they're going to look very, very seriously at not approving some kind of a request that creates additional service islands. So that's one thing that they're going to look at. You also see on the map these hash-marked areas that encompass quite a bit of area that's outside of the city of Lancaster and city of Palmdale. Back in about 2011, the state adopted legislation that said any type of annexation request that affects what's known as a disadvantaged unincorporated community requires special type of review from LAFCO. If a city proposes any kind of annexation in a duck, then the county or LAFCO needs to determine whether or not that annexation should be bigger. Perhaps it should take in that entire area because there's an assumption made that these disadvantaged unincorporated communities lack services. Now, it may not always be the case, and in our particular instance, we may not always have to pursue an annexation of a larger area as a part of it. But in general, if there's a disadvantaged unincorporated community, LAFCO is limited by state law to approving about 10 acres worth of annexation in those locations. And of course, in Lancaster, a lot of that exists to the north and to the east, even within some of the incorporated islands that we have, or unincorporated islands, the central area of Quartz Hill, and for many of you, you may recognize that as Mayflower Gardens. That's part of the clue to how they define these. They're defined largely on whether or not a particular area is making 80% or less of the median income of the county. So it's largely a determination based on income levels, which from the state's legislation translates into a determination that there may be a lack of services in that area. So any kind of annexation that touches one of these does bring that into LAFCO's purview and review. Now, I had mentioned earlier in the presentation that there are uninhabited and inhabited annexations. There are differences between that, the largest one being that if you have, for instance, in an inhabited annexation area, more than 50% of the registered voters file a protest, then LAFCO will deny the annexation. If you have between 25 and 50% protest, LAFCO will order an election to determine whether or not the annexation moves forward. There are also requirements as far as landowners, if there are certain percentages of landowners in terms of assessed value or numbers that protest, that can also trigger an election or an uninhabited type of situation if you have more than a 50% protest. I know that's a lot of numbers. I'm sure there's probably some formula LAFCO has that if the square root of something equals the boundary of the universe, there's some other process. But, and that's the most technical part of the presentation, but there you go. This is LAFCO's annexation flowchart process. Kind of lays that out a little more carefully for everyone so that you can see once an annexation request is put into LAFCO and there's an application process and fee associated with that, that they go through a series of processes, protests, determinations, yes, no. Depending on what happens, they can deny an annexation or they may approve it subject to an election, as I indicated before. So there are a number of different paths that an annexation process can go down depending on the specifics of the area. In talking with Jeff, who's more recently been involved with annexation processes in Santa Clarita, he indicated to me an 18 to 24-month process is pretty typical for a LAFCO review of an annexation request. So it's not a quick item. It depends a lot on how well the city communicates early on with the county or other affected agencies, and of course with the LAFCO staff itself. So that's a brief rundown. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions that you may have on the annexation process.
Any questions? Brian, you said that they have the some instances they can change housing, water, transportation. What about electricity?
Electricity is not at this point considered an issue of statewide concern. The reason that water, housing, and transportation are highlighted is that in state law, I'll put this as delicately as I can. The state has decided they know better than local agencies. So the state has a lot more control over those factors than local agencies do. We have to meet certain housing obligations, goals. The state has a lot to say about transportation, and of course water, as you're well aware, is a major statewide issue. But I'm not aware that electricity rises to that level or power.
So if an individual wants to participate in Lancaster's energy plan and they live in one of those pockets, they can't?
Not as I understand the way it's structured right now.
Okay. Thank you. Maria?
Is that part of the TOD, the TOD? No. It looked like it was to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say now. I wasn't expecting you to call me back up here. I was,
You put your card in.
I know, but, you tell me I can't, and I'm like, just really hurting right now, and, just thinking of all the bad things, I guess, that have happened. And, the involuntary, voluntary, thing. But yeah, I, be able to just go in and take things from you like that, or just go in and, is, really bad, really hurtful. And, I miss my kids, I miss my normal life. And I know a lot of people do. And I'm sorry, but I can't say anything good, other than it's nice to see you. And, I just wish things could be back the way they were and good for everybody, and happy, and so we don't feel like we're being abused or neglected or coerced or tortured or whatever. Because it's not a good way to live. It's not really living, and I'd like to live again. And thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, we can just take this as receive and file?
Yes,
Okay, we'll receive and file it.
thank you.
Brett, NB3? You're going to give us our municipal election update.
Yes. Good evening, Vice Mayor Christ and Council. My presentation tonight is to provide you and the public with an overview of the vote by mail ballot process for the upcoming election. The sample ballot booklets have been mailed to registered voters, and beginning on Monday, March 14th, the city clerk staff can begin processing vote by mail applications. When we receive a vote by mail application, we will verify a voter's signature using the County of Los Angeles Voter Information Management System. Once the signature has been verified, a ballot is issued and mailed to the voter. When the ballot is returned by the voter, we verify the signature again with the application, and then we place that envelope in a corresponding tub that corresponds to their precinct. Each day, those tubs are locked in the city clerk vault, and right now the city clerk department is under restricted access to only certain sworn personnel. So the ballots are secure and not available to anybody other than those sworn personnel.
So let's expand that a little bit.
Okay.
If I wanted to go in there, could I go in there?
No.
Okay. So
We're going to stop you.
It's restricted to virtually
Yes,
everybody but
we've
the
got-
people that need to be there.
Correct.
Okay.
And even then, the only people who are actually touching these envelopes, which are sealed, are the city clerk staff. So the precinct vote by mail precinct boards are going to meet on April 5th, 6th, and 7th. And at that time, the ballots will be inspected to ensure that the ballots aren't folded or bent. This way that we can ensure that they won't jam the ballot machines on election night. We're also ensuring that the voters' intent is clear and they have marked their ballots so that the oval is completely filled in, because if it's not filled in correctly or appropriately enough, it won't read the voter's intent when it runs through the ballot machine. During this inspection
So
process...
what happens if it's half filled?
If it's half filled, when we're doing the inspection, we have a board that looks at all of the ballots. If it's not filled in, then either Linda or I will come over and take a look and see if we feel it needs to be filled in more, and what we will do is highlight it. If we can determine that the voter's intent is clear, then we will highlight it with a special highlighter that the voter machines pick up. At this time, during the inspection, at no time are votes being counted or tallied. We're simply inspecting these ballot cards to ensure that the ballots have been marked appropriately or clearly. After the mail has been processed on election day, the boxes containing the vote by mail ballots will be sealed and placed in the city clerk vault until they're opened in full public view at the close of polls at 8 p.m. on April 12th. The ballots will be run through the ballot counters by our election consultants, and the results for the precincts will be displayed on a screen in the south lobby and will be placed on our website as the results come in. On election day, staff will be visiting the precincts to provide additional supplies and answer any questions as necessary. Precinct workers will be assisted by Los Angeles County deputies when they return their voted ballots and election supplies to City Hall after the close of polls on election day. And historically, the precincts have completed their duties and returned the ballots sometime between 8:30 and 10 p.m. that night. We are very proud of the process that we do here at City Hall. We're proud of the service that we provide to the community. We have unofficial results that evening, generally between 10 and 11 p.m. We anticipate a smooth process as we have in the past. The official results are anticipated to be presented to you for adoption at the April 26th City Council meeting. At that time, we will also swear in the newly elected council members. Any questions? Additional questions?
Any questions?
I don't have any.
So how do you get the ballots, the mail-in ballots so quickly? Explain that to the public.
The permanent vote-by-mail ballots are mailed out automatically, and those are mailed out according to election code on Monday, which is the 14th. And so as soon as the voters have completed their ballots and put them back in the mail, we can start processing them, and we store them in tubs until we convene the vote by mail boards.
Okay. Thank you. Maria?
Speaking of these new companies or new businesses or whatever, if anybody's looked into Easy Systems, is it a deal of companies that has a bunch of different companies underneath it? And
Maria, we're talking about the election update.
okay, well, I'm talking about ways in which your whatever the way you want your election or your ballot or whatever can possibly, there's all kinds of ways that they can possibly be changed or taken, or if they don't count or whatever. There's plenty of online places or whatever that can do that. There's plenty of that can make sure that you're taken off of the registry, or make sure that you're taken off of or have the ability to actually vote, or actually, like, crap, you were not. I was going to go on the non-agendized thing because I was going to talk about these particular businesses, but yeah, no. Here I am
need
now
you to quit
again.
cussing, okay?
I am just, ooh. So I think it's fraudulent. Especially the date of it this year. You know, I had a date last year that was a particular time that they told me I didn't have, and I had to come back in 2 weeks. And when I did, everything that I owned was rummaged through and taken and stolen before I could go to court on it, which had all my bags and of everything from the last 3.5 years. But yeah, that's something that I'd really like to have somebody do something about. Because every time you're supposed to be getting something back from it, it gets taken from you. You know, I go up to the bank to cash a check, and it's I get arrested for forgery or fraud when it's the company with all these businesses that was doing the forgery and fraud out of my own account. I mean, I can't even get my check. You know, they take it. That's the second, third time it's happened. So I'd like to, you know, it'd be nice to get that back from me and my kids.
Thank you. Michael Reeves.
Vice Mayor Chris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I want to commend the city clerk for what she's done on the election so far. These sample ballots are really good. They make it plain that the mail-in ballots are on their way. She secured the city clerk's office. So far, so good. And also the print on the sample ballot is great. So that's the positive thing. I was researching on the internet election laws for local governments. I'm going to give this to the city attorney. She knows what I'm talking about. There's a lot of latitude for local elections, unlike federal elections. And I'm really disturbed about a couple of flyers I received in the mail. They sent out by sitting council people. One is a candidate for city council re-election, and it has a photo of the city manager inside the brochure. I don't think that's appropriate, but of course we have a lot of latitude in California about our election laws, and I don't think the city manager should be in a brochure with a council candidate. Okay, that's my opinion. And then there was a brochure by a mayor candidate, a sitting mayor, who had a photo of himself and a prior sheriff captain and some sheriff deputies. Now, as former law enforcement, I was disturbed by that because I can remember when I worked at LAPD, we did not wear our uniforms to work. We changed at the station and we changed when we went home. So we have this photo of these officers, and we have 80% of our officers who live in AV. We have this photo with this mayor candidate of these officers. So you can be rest assured that the bad guys can look at this photo and they know these guys if they live on their block. And also, you can be rest assured that these deputies will never be working undercover now. They've been exposed. This is something we need. There's no use. It's spilt milk. It's happened. It's done. Okay. But we need to think about it in the future that if we have these situations where we're going to have the city manager in a photo or sheriff deputies, we need to have the city attorney look it over and make sure that it's legitimate and legal and ethical. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, we're going to receive and file NB3. We're going to discuss the appointment of Melissa, is it Magalanis?
Believe so. Yes, that's correct.
To the Destination Lancaster or the Visitor Bureau. So I'll make that motion.
Actually, before we proceed, I'd like to give everybody a little bit of background about how we arrived at Melissa. Currently, she's the general manager of the newest hotel here in Lancaster, the Best Western. She has over 25 years of experience in the private sector. She's got a decade of experience in the hospitality hotel industry. In 2013, she received a prestigious award from the Hampton brand, and it's only given to the top 25 Hampton hotels. And she's been a strong, enthusiastic member of Lancaster, Destination Lancaster TBID. And then I do want to say that she was nominated by her peers amongst 3 candidates. So I'm very proud when someone's name comes up to be appointed to this position. I can tell you that she comes with a depth of experience. So just wanted to make sure that someone didn't misunderstand in the community and in the public to think that maybe we would just arbitrarily just grab somebody out of the hat, so to speak. But she's clearly got a background of experience, and I think she would be a great appointment.
So is that a second?
And that's a second. I'd have to second that after I said all that.
Any other discussion? Is Melissa here?
Is she here? No, she's not here.
Okay. Let's vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Woohoo.
Congratulations. Council reports. Raj?
Yes, I would like to talk about Medical Main Street. Last week we met with our senior staff, with the hospital CEO and chairman of the hospital board. Staff gave a really good presentation to the hospital, and they loved it. They were so excited to hear all the good stuff. So next thing they wanted to do, they want us to give another presentation from a city to finance committee and then the rest of the board. So we are planning to do that. We haven't set the date. That's the next thing going to happen, and so that's just want to let everybody know. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj. Angela?
Nothing at this time.
Ken?
No report.
I just want to talk about the Board of Trade, the Outlook Conference. Very proud of Lancaster and what they said, what they provided the information for, and how they participated in the Outlook Conference. And I finally understood, I've only lived here for 60-some years, and I finally understand what it means to go to the Outlook Conference, because it truly changes your outlook on the community. It changes your outlook on what they're doing, how they're doing, and what each community is doing for the Valley. So it was very, very nice Outlook conference. Your son was in charge of it. I commend him for doing that. One of the best ever.
Yeah, I think people can see the change, and it gives us an opportunity to see the direction that we're headed. And clearly, if you're involved in the community, what a great place to get an update from, whether it's jobs, aerospace, medical,
Small businesses.
real estate.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you learn a lot. 1,200 new businesses in the city of Lancaster last year. That's
phenomenal.
And when you have that banner hanging up where it says we're the most business friendly in LA County, we've earned it every time we've been eligible for it. So that's a great thing. I just think it was a great thing, and I encourage anybody, and I encourage those candidates that are out there that want to run for city council to go out to the Outlook conference to actually see what's taking place in the city. City manager.
Yes, we have 3 videos. We would have had a 4th, but the Outlook conference video isn't quite ready yet. We're having to bring in some special help to edit the part about Ken dancing. That was a little tricky for the editing.
I knew that was going to come up. I figured either you were going to say something or the vice mayor over here was going to say something. And just because you two don't dance.
Well,
and there's a reason that we try not to. We saw you dance.
There are people who shouldn't dance. Look up the Seinfeld episode with Elaine, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Got it. All right, picking on
he
the
may
old
still
guy
have something
again.
to say about your dancing, too. I don't know.
Yeah, picking on the old guy
I think it
again.
speaks for itself.
Okay.
But no, it really was. It was a proud moment. It was very hard. I'd like to thank our staff, Joe and Nicole and Rebecca and Brian Armstrong for the folks. That was a really hard presentation to organize, and they did a great job. The communication staff and council just really, you guys did such a good job. We're proud of it. We do have 3 videos. We'll end with the air show quick teaser, but I think there's 2 that really show the Antelope Valley. The first shows what a great place this is, and it's the people. This is the mayor presenting the key to the city to Todd Davis. Todd Davis is a Paraclete graduate, and he is a Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos, Super Bowl 50. But the best thing about this is Todd is really a good individual, and when Paraclete honored him and showed the video, or they showed his history at Paraclete, 3/4 of it had nothing to do with football. It's what he did as a leader for the freshmen at retreats and everything. Quality individual, and it could be a more deserving person. So that's our first one.
We're here at Paraclete High School, where today Mayor R.X. Paris and the high school are going to honor Denver Broncos Super Bowl champion Todd Davis.
Well, we're back at my alma mater, Paraclete High School, and the mayor just gave me a key to the city, and the student body has been phenomenal, showing me a lot of love, and it just feels great. I still feel like I'm the same me. The Super Bowl champion, title is, extremely important to me, and I'm very blessed to have it a part of my name. But I still feel like, Todd Davis, from class of 2010 from Paraclete.
I think the reason he came back home was to tell everyone here, you get to choose, you decide. I've always thought that if you improve just a little bit every day, that's the ticket to success. But he's the living embodiment of that. You don't get where he got without an incredible amount of hard work every single day.
It's a big honor. It's definitely, he's honored and I'm honored, and it inspires me to do more too.
The Antelope Valley, has done so much for me. I really grew up here. Being able to go to high school here, all the fun things we used to do, the Antelope Valley Mall, the movie theaters, the bowling alley, it's home to me. So to be able to bring a Super Bowl championship back here and have the support that I've had, this far has been amazing. For me to actually receive one is the tremendous blessing, and thank you to Mayor Paris for even giving me that honor, because it is a huge honor to me.
And what's really phenomenal is what a wonderful guy he is. I mean, there's a humility to him, there's a kindness to him that is truly remarkable.
Well, God is the center of my life. I wouldn't be here without him at all. And I think that he's given me this opportunity to come back and, bestow on somebody the knowledge that was bestowed on me. There's a quote that says, every day you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You never stay the same. And I really like that quote because it teaches you to strive to get better every day, a little bit better each and every day. And that's what I've been trying to do.
It's a really good day. Our second video is highlighting one of our partners, Hunter, Dodge, Fiat, and all the other brands that they have. I think the important thing here is there's still a myth. Our auto mall the sales are incredible right now, all of our dealers. But there's still some people that think they have to go elsewhere to get a good deal. They have to go to the bigger guys. And I think one of the important things about this video is not just the family atmosphere of this place, but we have one of the largest Dodge dealers and Ram dealers in California right in the Antelope Valley. And all of the dealers, this is indicative of the quality. So we'll see the second video.
The Hunter Auto Dealership here in Lancaster has been a mainstay for decades, and now they've got a new brand, Alfa Romeo.
Hunter's actually been in the Antelope Valley since 1944. It's the oldest working dealership in the Antelope Valley, owned originally by Hank Hunter, and the grandsons now run it. Tom and Tim Fuller are the grandsons of Hank Hunter, and they have inherited the dealership over the years.
When I was growing up in Lancaster, I was born and raised here, and I worked part-time at the family store on Sierra Highway at Redmond Plymouth, H.W. Hunter. And it was very customer-oriented, and my grandfather, my dad, they knew a lot of the customers, and hopefully that part hasn't changed very much. But the volume of business we do has changed dramatically.
We're actually #1 Ram truck dealer in all of LA County. And actually, some months we are #1 in California. We have reached that title a few times last year, #1 Ram truck dealer in all of California.
Besides the trucks,
we have the Challengers and the Chargers and the Durangos.
We advertise we're Destination Durango, so people come here from all over the place for Durangos, because we have really good deals on them. Chrysler and Jeep, they're on a roll right now. They're the hot product. They've had year-over-year increases now going on, about 75 months now?
Chrysler makes some amazing brands. Chrysler and Fiat are the parent companies, and they're selling great. The electric Fiat is very popular right now, and with the incentives from the state and the city, people get rebates back from the government for purchasing an electric vehicle, for going green.
And you've got a new kid on the block. Why don't you tell me about this new brand?
We just got started with Alfa Romeo, and it's really exciting. Beautiful Italian sports cars. It's one of the best looking cars you'll ever see, and they're fast.
Alfa Romeo recently just came back into Northern America, so we're really excited about where it's headed. So they obviously have a great past, but the future is looking even better. By 2018, we should have a full model lineup of 8 vehicles for Alfa Romeo. The introduction vehicle was the Alfa Romeo 4C.
And it's a cute little car.
Oh yeah, it's truly Italian, it's handmade, every single line and curve, it's beautiful, but it also has functional features as well. What we have here is the 1.7 liter 4-cylinder engine. It actually has 237 horsepower and 248 feet-pound of torque.
Tell me what it's like to work here.
It's absolutely great to work here. These guys are the best. They do run it like a family business, and when you're here, you actually do feel like you're part of the family.
Very nice.
That's well done. And the last one is a short video on the air show.
Can you, before you do that, can you go through so everyone at home can understand the importance of buying local, what it does for us is in regards to the sales tax, what we can provide more for?
Oh, sure, absolutely, love to. First off, people don't realize it, but our auto mall employs over 500 local residents. That's 500 jobs. That's really important, number one. Number two, when you buy local, 1% 1 cent of the sales tax goes to the city of Lancaster. The auto mall as a conglomerate is probably 20 to 25% of our sales tax. That goes towards police services, law enforcement primarily, and all the parks and events programs. That's the primary beneficiary of that sales tax. There are no other funds other than sales tax and property tax to put on the events we do and to support our local deputies and such. So there's a ripple effect too. It's not just the 500 direct jobs, it's all of the folks that benefit from all the events that we do. Example is we've made it, and Vice Mayor Christ is very insistent upon this, we've made it a point to do business with local people. The guy now, Brian Armstrong, who does the sound for us, started out as just a guy who used to rent equipment, but by working with the cities, he invested in his business. He owns all of his equipment now, and he now goes out and he employs more people and bids in all jobs all throughout LA County. So that's just the benefit of buying local. When you support the auto mall, you support the city supports local merchants. When you go and buy a car elsewhere, not 1 cent of that money comes back to the city of Lancaster. Goes to, if you buy it in City of Los Angeles gets the money.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to add to.
No, that's very good. I just think that you're supporting other cities, and I think that at least give these dealerships up here. I don't really care if you buy Palmdale, Lancaster. I would prefer Lancaster, but buy locally. Buy Palmdale, buy Lancaster, buy in the Antelope Valley, because that sales tax money stays in the Antelope Valley, and we can increase our law enforcement with that extra money. So it's important that you buy local. Okay.
The Los Angeles County Air Show returns to Fox Airfield March 19th and 20th. The United States Navy Blue Angels demonstration squad will roar across the skies of Southern California in their second appearance as 2016's headline attraction. Joining them will be a thrilling array of jets, world-renowned aerobatic performers, and historic aircraft that is sure to captivate and excite aviation enthusiasts of all ages. So come visit the 2016 Los Angeles County Air Show, March 19th and 20th at Fox Airfield.
If someone wants tickets, where do they get them?
Rhonda? They don't get them from Rhonda, she can tell you.
LACountyAirshow.com.
Is there a phone number they can call?
I don't have that direct line. All tickets are being pushed to be electronic this year in an effort to go green.
Great. Okay, thank you. City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager.
Maria.
Sorry, but I guess I got to talk about those for a minute. That first video, boy, all locations. He's been to all locations and theaters and I don't know, a lot of places. The second one, boy, I'd like to get one of those Ram trucks. Wouldn't you like to have one of those? And the other deal in the sky thing. Also, to talk about the voting thing again, real quick. There was a time back when I'd get a thing sent to my house for your voting, where you go and you can vote, and it came in a bunch of different names, my name, but different versions of my name. So what do you do when you go and vote for one? Who gets all those other ones? Like the other, you know what I mean? Like the other names that they came in. That was just something else. And what were some of the other things? And as far as a lot of these services, or a lot of these businesses being here, a lot of them aren't here. A lot of them maybe get benefits and stuff from here, but a lot of them are in different areas. Like I said, under this one business, there's a whole bunch of them. Many of them are in different states or different places. That all I've seen on the agendas here. That are all electronically, like Source One, Orleave, a lot of stuff in Arizona, a lot of places like that. And many of them are internet type businesses and stuff too. and a lot of them are consulting businesses, and which is, I think, where a lot of the money went. Also, I'd like to know, I got these from Walmart. When you go in and get money from Walmart, I noticed that on here, it takes away from like 4 or 5 different accounts. Like you go in and get money there from one, that's like $400 or $500, and it comes at a minus to like 4 or 5 different things. So I don't know how much money they're taking out or what's going on, but it's minus, 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 minus. And if I ask anybody about it, no, I don't know. That's not happening. It's just sneaky, it's just never ending. And I'm sure there was something else really important. There's a lot of other really important things. Those I'm sitting back there thinking of that I wanted to say, but boy, this has got to be a vast amount of money here, too.
Thank you, Maria. Ronald Wilson.
Vice Mayor, City Council, good evening. I'm a personal business owner. Me and my wife, we distribute free cell phones throughout the city. You've probably seen a lot of the tents or the commercials. We've been having a lot of issues with code enforcement, particularly Dee Dee Tushner. We made several complaints to her supervisor. No response. It's been going on for months. We're being treated unfairly. We have our competitor boasting about how he's paying her off. We brought that to the attention, and again, no type of response. We've been cited several times. Other people have been out of compliance, no citations. And so we're just trying to get some type of assistance. We have no clear understanding from planning or from code enforcement. It's always something different. They've just added additional fees for a director's review that was once free. Now it's $166 for every 2 months, which is way more than a business license, which is only $157 for 12 months. That's basically it. We're not getting any type of feedback or any assistance from Chun or Bridget or anybody else. So we're here speaking our piece. I think that'll be it. Thank you for your time. I just have one question. Where do I go to get any further assistance after this, or what's my recourse?
I'm going to direct you to Mr. Blazigan, and I'm going to, you still have a minute and a half left. You want to talk on this?
Yeah, I respectfully disagree on the characterization of not being clear. It's very clear. We're making people get the approval of the property owner before you set up lean-tos and tents on their property, whether that be the county or a private property owner. It's a really simple requirement. If they're okay with you being on their property, then you just go in and get the approval. We'd be happy to meet with you. I know that you and some of the other folks have been communicated, some of the other same people in your industry continuously. We spend a great deal of time on this particular issue in both planning and code enforcement. A lot of code enforcement is because the property owners themselves call and request that someone come out and help them, including public agencies, because people are on their property without any approval. So I'd be happy to meet with you afterwards.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
Do you have any more questions?
No, I don't.
Okay.
You want to meet with me? Thank you.
Thank you. Francisco?
Good evening, City Council. I read that sign right there that says, "In God we trust," and trust me, I believe in him and I trust in him. But I'm also having the same issue that Ronald Wilson is having on the free cell phone distributions. We are a public outreach agency here to serve the public. The free cell phones that are being distributed is a state-funded government program to help those individuals who cannot afford a cell phone, who have medical problems, who are looking for work, and have no other means of doing it. You don't know how many times I've been out there. I've been there myself, homeless, with no resources, nobody to lend me a hand. You got these people out here with business licenses asking for free money outside the 99-cent store. They're fine to be there. You got Girl Scouts outside of the Walmart. They're fine. Nobody goes inside STEM. We are not getting anything out of it. We're just distributing, doing a public service, and we get cited, a ticket with a business license.
Question.
We still get cited.
Question. Do you have permission to be there?
Do I have permission to be there?
Yes.
Yes, I believe I do.
Okay.
Yes, I had a director's review signed, and the city comes and slaps saying, no, you cannot, because it's dirt. Even though it's a developed area for commercial use, they're slapping me across the face saying, no. I've knocked on doors, many doors. Pray to God, open a door for me, Lord. Opens doors for me, the city shuts them down. It's not fair. It really isn't fair that people who are bringing money into the community, you talk about community. I'm part of the community. I'm from Lancaster. I purchased a brand new vehicle, City of Lancaster Honda, with this job when I was homeless, begging for food, out in the streets, had nothing. But God lifted me up. He had mercy on me. And I followed him, and I did what he asked me to do. And this is a path I know he's chosen for me, to help out the community. Who am I hurting? Who are we hurting? Who are we hurting? By distributing free cell phones. Now, if we get permission from Walmart to be out there, Walmart's going to say, yeah, but the city's going to come and say, no, you need a director's review from the property owner. Walmart has no problem with the Girl Scouts being out there. They had no problem with me being out there, but the city comes and shuts us down. But they're not messing with anybody else but us. They're not messing with the Girl Scouts. They're not messing with the people signing up people for dental out there. They're not messing with the panhandlers. They're not messing with the petitioners. They are not doing anything but harassing us. And this is personal because I've had other cell phone companies out there, and they come straight to me and cite me and leave them alone. But we're talking about Didi. Now, I've personally talked to the managers over there, and where they have me at right now, they say that I have written permission to be there, and they still go over there and mess with me. I have a stamped director's review allowing me to be where I'm at, and they still come and kick me off property. That is not fair. I'm sorry I say it, the way I say it, but I'm just right here doing a public service. What do I get out of it? What do I get a person saying, thank you, God, thank you, because I really need
I appreciate it. We'll look into it. Mark, you want to address that?
Same thing I did before when he says he believes that he has permission. It's pretty simple. You either have permission or not. Walmart will allow the Girl Scouts to be out there. That's their call. Walmart's private property. If they have evidence that they have private property and they have the proper approval from the city, they can be there. And if someone's citing them improperly, we have a process for that too. I doubt very highly they're being cited improperly.
Okay, can you meet with these two gentlemen and get this fixed?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Wally.
Good evening, City Council staff, people of Lancaster. I really do relish, my tremendous opportunity to address, this important gathering. And I'm out here to throw out ideas. And at the same time, I have no idea whose ears my ideas are going to go into and whose mind they're going to stick to. And and believe it or not, I make up my speech as I'm waiting here for my turn. And as I said, I don't want to forfeit my 3 minutes because I'm going to go a couple of weeks and I'm going to say, oh, well, why didn't you get that opportunity to speak? Because I need to speak to keep up my public speaking skills and to develop them, which I hope that I accomplish, of course. And my idea tonight, and I brought this up before, I live over there on East J, close to Division, and every day I pass that corner there that I've mentioned before, the southeast corner of East J and Division. And what I have on my mind tonight is, and the word I have in my mind tonight is investment. My idea is that the city should buy that lot, that corner lot. It's a large lot, for the purpose of putting a branch of the Antelope Valley College there. which would be Lancaster East Branch of Antelope Valley College. And I'm saying that because I pass there every day, and it looks like a dilapidated place. Of course, from my viewpoint, I'm running out of time. But as an investment for the college to build a branch there. And from my perspective, education, higher education after high school, is very important to develop a community. Just look where the Antelope College is right now, and look at that community over there, how prosperous it seems. So from my perspective, if there's that college, from my perspective, makes that community look prosperous, and it is prosperous. So that's why I'm talking about a branch over there.
Thank you, Wally. Ted Powers.
Good evening, everyone. Some guys are a little frustrated here. I'm going to join them. Don't think you're going to like this, but here we go. I've been a resident of Lancaster for over 30 years. Over those years, I've seen many changes, some good, some bad. The thing that bothers me personally is the constant. That's the things that never change. For many years, my family and I have lived on the east side of Lancaster, a new tract of homes, great neighbors, great friends, hardworking folks who appreciate their homes, their lifestyle. And I'm not going to lie, it wasn't the best location. There's a apartment complex down the street that's questionable, but nothing that we couldn't handle as far as the problems go. As original owners moved out, we noticed the neighborhood started getting a little rougher. So with the support of the city, we started a watch program. It worked pretty well because for the issues that we had, we were able to handle them ourselves. I moved out myself, but I had a caretaker staying at the house. And I was gone, and sadly, the co-founder of our group passed away. As a result, the neighborhood watch kind of fell apart, which brings me to the point I wish to make. Excuse me. I'm not good at doing this, but...
That's okay.
Okay.
Shut his time off.
Anyways, so we found that the reason our program worked is because we handled the problems. We really got no support from code enforcement, the city, or the sheriff's department. Sorry, guys. And that's the constant I spoke of. Now the neighborhood is full of loud, unruly renters, Section 8 recipients, and drug dealers. Our street has become a major thoroughfare for speeding cars. When requests are made to code enforcement, we get no response. When we ask for speed bumps like the other more desirable neighborhoods, we get no response. And when we ask the sheriff to look into the drug dealing, we're told that they're aware of the problem, but nothing is done. With all this activity going on, my wife and I were compelled to move back to that property to protect it. We are still a handful of homeowners who want to be able to raise our families, go to work every day, and not have to worry about what's going on while we're not there. It's an easy thing to enforce rules and laws and expect people to conduct themselves respectfully to others and to those laws in a compliant neighborhood. When a neighborhood is not compliant, it seems like the city and the sheriff's department turn a blind eye and are not willing to help with the cleanup, and the good folks are left holding the bag. I have asked for help from the city and the sheriff, and have even asked for an audience with the mayor to discuss these issues, and have gotten no response. If you guys have any questions, I will be happy to answer.
I do.
Okay.
What kind of code enforcement problems are you having?
Cars, unregistered cars sitting on rubber that is disintegrated, they're just sitting on wheels, trash in the neighborhood, furniture spewing all over the vacant lot areas that are down the street from us.
Are they in vacant lots or
There is a vacant lot, and usually my wife, God bless her, she goes outside with me every morning when I leave for work, and she goes out with one of those trash pickers in a bag and picks up trash in the neighborhood because no one else will do it. And, you know, we've complained so many times. That I can deal with. It's the criminal activity that's going on in the neighborhood that we get absolutely no help from.
You spoke about drugs. What type of drugs? I mean,
well, I don't buy drugs.
No, I understand that, but you're saying there's a drug problem, and then
we're right next door, sir.
And is it we have a problem with the state mandating what we can do and what we can't do.
Okay.
They virtually told the sheriff department that methamphetamines, you get a ticket for it now. So they're making all that type of stuff legal. And it's not the city. We're doing everything possible that we can to fight this. It's coming from the state to us, and they're telling us what we can do and what we can't do.
Okay. So are they fighting it in your neighborhood? Because they're not fighting it in mine. You probably live in a nice neighborhood. I don't.
Well,
and unfortunately, that's the problem.
No, all of our neighborhoods should be the same, and we'll treat them all the same.
They should
so,
be, sir,
Mr.
but they're
Bozigian,
not.
Can you meet with Mr. Powers? And if you want to meet, I will be there, and we can talk over, and we can get a plan of action.
It only took 15 years to hear that.
Okay, we'll do it for you.
Okay,
We'll
I
make it work.
appreciate that. That's and I understand the frustration of a lot of these guys not having their voice heard and not being taken seriously. This is very serious to me, my family, these guys, their issue. Maria, God bless her. This is serious stuff, and it concerns us. And we, I've been here for a long time. I've done work for you in the past. I've been associated with you in the past. Mr. Lawson, I've done work at your building years ago. The fire marshal over there, remember me from Site 9, sir? We worked together. I've been here a long time. I care about this community, too.
No, and we appreciate it, and we'll try to do our best to get it fixed.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. David. Say some nice things, David. Otherwise, it's up to Fran.
Mr. Vice Mayor, Council, good evening. Mr. Powers, thank you for coming. That's the way that action is taken when people come to City Council. I love coming to City Council and telling them what I think. It's the part of civic involvement that reaps the most reward. I was thinking about the Lancaster Choice program, and Patty said there are 3 ways you can join. There is a 4th. She will chase you down and get you to sign up. So I appreciate that. Incredible. You know I love my city. And the one thing tonight, I am a little disappointed that the mayor isn't here because I had some words for him. We're not having any forums. We're not having any discussions. But I'm doing my best. I was at the Almond Festival last weekend, and I was selling books during the Outlook Conference. You're right, Vice Mayor, that is an excellent way to see what is going on in the city. One thing I'll tell you about, which was new to me, I took the sanitation tour a couple weekends ago, and I went out to the plant in Lancaster, and they took us on a bus to Paiute Pond, and that was very educational. Do you know that we flush 18 million gallons of water down the toilet and down the drain or the bathtub every day in the city of Lancaster? That's a lot of water that they're reclaiming for the Purple Pipe, and it's inspirational to see. The other thing they have there is a glut of methane, and they don't even know what to do with it. And I think the city could find a use for that methane. You know, if the laws were different, you can distill that down to a liquid, run your cars on it. It's virtually zero pollution. And I would like to see us use that methane. But generally speaking, we're on the right track, and I'm excited to be here and live in this city, and I work every day to make it a better place. and I thank every one of you for what you do to make it a better place as well. The staff, the council, and the management team of this city. Incredible, and I look forward to this next election and a lot of participation. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, Fran.
My turn?
He did pretty good.
Yes, he did. I don't know, I hope I can be equal.
You're going to have to beat him.
Okay, well,
We did read your book, by the way.
oh, good, thank you. What'd you think?
Loved it.
Did you?
Story about the Catholics.
Oh, good, thank you. Excuse me. Good evening, Vice Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran Sarasaris. I guess by now you all know me as Fran. I have one more quick, just a few quick little things I want to bring up, and then I need to talk to the criminal justice. I just want to be, does LASA, well, on Avenue 60 and I, where the homeless shelter is supposed to be, also in the papers and the county has been talking about using the prison to open the prison for women, to make it a women's prison. Is LASA, I'm sure they are involved in it, and how is that going to interfere, if it will, with the homeless? It's right next door. I read in the paper that tomorrow they're having a luncheon to speak on, I have it in my papers, but anyway, at the, I can't even pronounce it. On 30th Street.
Hellenic Center.
Yeah. And I called to buy my ticket so I could save myself $5, and nobody answered. And it was 4 o'clock when I called, 4:15. And nobody answered, so now when I go tomorrow, I'm going to have to pay $25. And don't they work until 5? Or do they work every day? Anyway, that's one thing. And I want to know also on the Outlook conference, where, when, and how can I find out about it? I mean, I know I'm not up to all the meetings that are being held in the city, but I think I would really be interested in that one, plus there's a few others, but...
Friend, we have a great local paper. We're benefited by having a great local paper. They tell everything that's happening or going to happen in the future. So if you read the paper or
I do
look in the paper.
But let me interrupt a minute. A lot of the information they give is either that day. I get the paper about 5:30 in the morning, more roughly. It's at 5. Some of those meetings are at 9 o'clock in the morning. Or they're like the one that I read today for tomorrow. It's already in the afternoon when I'm looking at it, and they don't give you enough. In other words, when they advertise, they should give the public at least 2 or 3 days to digest it and put it into their calendar.
They had some advertisements. I don't know if they did an article. They had some advertisements
I didn't see any.
in regards to Gene Simmons.
Well, that was at the fair center.
That is the Outlook conference.
No, but this was tomorrow at
No,
11 o'clock. At the
tomorrow is for the supervisor election.
That's the one I'm speaking of. Yes. Okay, that's it. And then, well, I guess I'll talk to Lee about this other. But I went real quick. I got not even. On February the 25th, I was coming home from a senior trip. Anyway, where I live right across the street from at 642 across the street, the sheriffs were talking to a homeless person because I could tell he had his cart. Anyway, my quick thought was, I didn't know what happened for about a half hour. I went to the house and did what I had to do, and I look out the window, and his cart's empty. I mean, his cart was there, and they had taken the man, if I found out his name later, to jail for whatever reason. But then I called, at 6:23, I called the sheriff's department to find out, what do they do with the homeless personal effects? They left the cart right in the middle of the public sidewalk, and right in the middle where it would interfere with people going back and forth. So I called the sheriff's station. I can tell you who I talked to.
Anyway, so finally I got response because I did a name call, a name dropping. I did get answers, and then at 8:05, another officer came to my door, who called me prior, and I asked him, there's things that went in between, but anyway, I asked him, what do they do with personal effects to homeless? Because that's all they have. And the sheriffs didn't even put it to a side or hide it or get it out of the public's way. That's actually, public hindrance. The officer did tell me, the deputy did tell me that they do ask, and sometimes they said just leave it there. But even if they tell you leave it there, you're not going to leave it in the public way. You're supposed to at least move it so it doesn't hamper, pedestrian walkway. So anyway, that's.
Thank you, Fran.
You're welcome, and I thank you very much.
I appreciate it. And Mr. Mann's going to call someone from the chamber and make sure that you get your $5 discount.
Okay, because I'll be there. I already called Access, so I'll be there.
I bet we could probably get that for you.
Okay, thank you. I know it's not going to break me, but $5 here, $5 there.
I bet we could probably take care of that.
Thank you.
Fran, also regarding the AV Board of Trade, they had there were billboards that were throughout the cities of Lancaster and Palmdale.
And I'm talking about the Outlook conference.
Right, and there were actual billboards that were throughout the city. But what I'll do too is I'll make sure that if you have an email address, that we can address the AV Board of Trade to let you know when things are coming up, to send you something via email.
I don't get around the neighborhood too much with a vehicle unless I get on this, or Access.
Okay.
And I look at that's why I bought the paper. That's why I'm buying the paper.
Thank you, Fran.
Thanks.
Planning Commission.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. The Commission will be taking up tract map renewals, as we have been for the last year and a half, and probably for the next year and a half or 2 years on that. We also will be taking up an alcohol beverage control license for a restaurant, and we'll be interacting with the Assistant City Attorney on possible new alcohol beverage regulations in conjunction with the Criminal Justice Commission.
Great. You guys do good work. Angela. You have anything?
I don't have anything at this time.
Raj?
I'm good. Thank you.
Ken?
I was taking care of Fran's discount for tomorrow. I bet I can take care of that.
Did you get it done?
I sent the text.
Okay. Erica, do you have anything? Okay. We're going to adjourn the meeting tonight in the memory of Angela's grandfather, Adele Rice. Mr. Rice was a World War II Marine veteran and was one of the first men on the ground in the Battle of Iwo Jima. Did you want to have anything to say, or do you want to wait till next week?
I'm a little bit misty this evening, if you don't mind.
Okay, that'd be great. We're also going to adjourn it and retired Deputy Sheriff Bate. Deputy Bate served in the U.S. Navy aboard the USS Constellation, was a Vietnam veteran and retired L.A. County Sheriff Department. After 23 years, he'll be deeply missed by the family and friends, and we appreciate both of them. So the City Council meetings is adjourned until Tuesday, March 22nd. Thank you.